I am now going to introduce Raya Eid. Raya, let's bring you on. I know that you've got a little presentation. Hello. Oh, there
Hello,
you are,
everyone. Hi, Renza. How are you?
bright in blue. Happy World Diabetes Day to you.
Happy World Diabetes Day to you, too.
You've got a presentation for us, so I'm going to jump off and we'll let you do that, and then we might have a bit of a chat afterwards.
Definitely. Thank you so much. So first
Again,
off, yeah.
thank you. Yeah, thank you.
So first off, let me thank all of the previous advocates that have talked about their wonderful, inspirational work. Thank you, Mo, for shedding light on the importance of advocacy in times of crisis, no matter where you are in the world. And specifically, Emma, for talking about diabetes situation in low and middle income countries. So for those of you who don't know me, hi, my name is Raya Eid. I am from Lebanon. I've been living with type 1 diabetes for 14 years now. I started off as a local advocate in my diabetes association, the Chronic Care Center. I then joined the IDF ILD program, where I was elected as the MENA regional representative. And I'm also, of course, a dedoc voice. And I'm here today to give you my 2 cents about advocacy, specifically in diabetes, in terms of crisis. So the first thing, when your country, your community, wherever you are, is going through a crisis, it is very important to start with focusing on yourself. And trust me, this is a mistake I've done many times. You think, okay, I'm an advocate, I'm a volunteer, let me go up there, let me help, without grasping the gravity of the situation that had just happened. And believe me, the situation can vary from natural disaster, economic crises, can be physical, non-physical, can be civil unrest. You need to make sure that you're okay, that you understand what happened, and you grasp, the gravity of the situation, which is when you can expand towards your community. Is there anyone directly next to me or in my area that I can help immediately? Is there something that they need on the spot? And then after that, what you need to look for is your country. And this is where you need to get the facts straight, understand what are the stats, what's the reality of the situation, what do we have. And it's very important here to discuss local organizations, NGOs, governmental organizations, local politicians, whatever you can get your hands on in terms of data, go for it. And here, big organizations already existing really do help. For example, in our case, recently we had an unprecedented economic crisis where our local currency lost over 60 folds of its value against the US dollar. That reduced the average salary to around $50 in Lebanon, 50 US dollars, which is literally equivalent to one packet of insulin, one box of insulin here in Lebanon. That caused us to go into a huge crisis. People were having trouble getting access to healthcare, access to insulin, basic diabetes supplies. We lost a lot of the governmental support on diabetes supplies. And this is when the large organization that I'm a part of, the Chronic Care Center, with the data that we have and the knowledge that we have, contacted international organizations such as Life for a Child and the WHO, which we are very grateful for. They assisted us in the time of the crisis. They're assisting us currently as the crisis is ongoing. And because of the data that we had and the knowledge that we had and how large our association was, we were able to get that assistance that we needed as soon as possible. So in terms of country, before going to international advocacy, it's very important to understand what are the resources that we have, how long do we have them, and what do we need, and what's the timeline that we need it for, so that you can prioritize your needs before moving on to international advocacy, where maybe one contact of a fellow advocate who knows an advocate, who knows an organization, can get that ball rolling in terms of getting the assistance that you need. And I know from what I'm talking right now, it kind of sounds overwhelming because you're in a crisis, you don't know what to do, you're just one advocate, you're trying your hardest. And it's very important to know that diabetes advocacy is not just, getting that insulin pen to that person, because advocacy in times of crisis can also look like this. Our local association, the Chronic Care Center, we had a camp for kids this year. We called it the Camp of Warriors. We took a number of kids aged 9 to 12. We had our own camp. We had educational and recreational activities. We got them away from their cities, from the local situation that was ongoing in the country. And we just had a couple of days off where we learned new things, we developed our knowledge and their knowledge, and we kind of took a break while being advocates. It can look like a local YLD meetup where we discuss the latest developments in diabetes research. DDoc can look like advocacy in times of crisis. This is us in Abu Dhabi last year. It was wonderful. It was a break away from everything, but I was still advocating for my country and still discussing the situation that was ongoing. Diabetes advocacy can look as small as one post, the Blue Balloon Challenge, which we've been talking about probably this entire day. It truly has its impact. You know, Life for a Child has been doing wonderful work. We're very grateful for it. Personally, I'm very grateful for Life for a Child. And these simple acts can go a long way. The IDF training was also advocacy, and we were in crisis. So remember, when you feel overwhelmed or you feel like you're burnt out, you can still be an advocate while enjoying your time and not feeling the stress of an ongoing situation and still be helping your community. So I guess my takeaway message here is advocacy in times of crisis is very important. Choose the method that fits best for you. Enjoy the ride. I know it gets hard sometimes, but also take care of yourself.
Rhea, I have a feeling that you're never not advocating. I am pretty sure that if you're awake, maybe even in your
My eyes
sleep,
are open, I'm advocating, or I'm dreaming about
absolutely.
advocating.
Thank you so much for that presentation, and I think
Thank
that,
you.
I really love that breaking it down. I think sometimes people are afraid of the word advocacy or being called an advocate because they feel that it has to be something really massive and it has to be something that they're seen to be doing, but it can be all of those really small things, they all add up to something bigger, right?
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah, yeah, fantastic. Thank you so, so much. Another
Anytime.
absolute shining light in our community. I'll say it again, the kids are all right. The work that you've been doing with the Young Leaders Program for IDF, and, as and with dedoc and everyone else, it is just such a privilege to get to hear what you're doing. Keep doing it, absolutely. And follow Raya on socials as well, on Instagram, where she constantly updates us with the work that she's doing. It
Thank you so
never
much.
ends. You are
It
so
never
amazing.
does.
It never does. Thank you so, so very much.